Well, first of all, congratulations. The film was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Michael Jai White probably gave you one of the best compliments regarding your performance.
There's no way I would have not thought that you were legitimate.
Someone wasn't sure how I'd react. You know, someone. I think Lionsgate said that early on, and a couple of bits of feedback like that. But you know, that was filmed live at the premiere with Michael Jai, and you know, there's some other great bits of feedback as we'd gone. But that was really the first test, was to authentically, if I could sort of authentically pass the test for the athletes themselves, then we were a good chance of making sure that it was going to be authentic for fans and MMA fans. And so similarly, so when a show like Strike Back, you know, you wanted to get all that weapons and tactical knowledge as authentic as I could for a military and combat veteran audience. Same with Beast, was if I could get the fighters and the athletes themselves to go, no, that looked pretty legit, then that was going to give us a fair bit of leeway with the story.
It did look very legit. Brendan and his team did an amazing job on the choreography.
Brendan did an amazing job. You know, we sat down when Brendan came on, and I've been training for a fair bit by that point, and we were supposed to train. I said, hey man, let's go and sit down and have a coffee and have some breakfast, and let's talk about what we want out of this. And we sort of sat down and said, we want together, why don't we work to make this the most authentic, intense, realistic, elevated MMA ever attempted on film? Why not set the bar there? You know, because knowing that Bren's going to elevate everybody that he's with on screen when it comes to fighting, and generously did with me as well. That was where we planned, because otherwise, you know, everyone can pick up their phone and watch high-level, world championship level MMA in the palm of their hand 24/7. So to be able to ask people to go and pay their $10 or $20 to go into a cinema or buy it on streaming, our goal was to provide something that was not what they could see in the palm of their hand or any Saturday on pay-per-view.
I guess it could go two ways. It could be quite intimidating that your co-star is the fight choreographer, or it could be relaxing because he's a fellow actor that you've worked with before.
Yeah, we've done 3 films together, and worked very differently in each one. And I knew Bren and I had to get aligned early on in what we both wanted to achieve, because there was no time, and I didn't have the energy or the bandwidth to deal with any conflict with any, not just Bren, but anybody in that set. You know, we were on such a time crunch, a budget crunch. I was stretched to the nth degree in every part of diet, nutrition, training, physiotherapy, acting, story, you know, in every scene of the film, start to finish, that I needed to be, you know, in good hands with everybody. And I was certainly that with Bren. Once we were aligned, I was driving from Cronulla to Penrith, you know, every day, which is, for those who are not in Sydney, that's an hour and a half or so, hour to an hour and a half each day. After I'd trained a session in the morning, to go and do 3 or 4 hours with Bren and his team out at his gym at Elite there. And then I was driving back into the city. I was doing physio. I was picking up my son from school. Then I was training again at night, and then obviously doing all my own nutrition and cooking and stuff. So it was heavy workload, but that's the type of way I love working. I love working at sort of full gas and full commitment, but also I love working with the absolute best of what they do, and Bren is certainly that. And I get to upskill very quickly if I can with, you know, full kind of commitment. And that was the only way we could pull off, you know, a challenge like Beast.
And what did you learn most from pushing yourself and your body to the limit like that?
I learned that I wish I had have started martial arts a long time ago. There's a great understanding of my body and of conflict and of the artistry and spirituality that comes with it, and that there is hundreds, if not thousands, of years of information that's been honed and passed down through all cultures around the world. I learnt that my son will start martial arts in a way that I didn't, but he's growing up in a world and in an era where MMA is available, as we say, 24/7. You know, and it's one of the, you know, fastest growing sports in the world. I learnt that I could get my hips to move in different ways that I'd never been able to before, because I came from a lifetime of triathlon when everything was linear and back and forth. And so I learnt that these old, dense cycling legs are actually pretty good for kicking people with, which I really enjoyed, and I have enjoyed that. You know, it took ages to click, but once that clicked, it was like, oh, this is fun. Like, really doing that. And I've stuck with it, you know, apart from, you know, obviously had to do a lot of physio and whatnot to get the body back to full gas after we wrapped filming. But I've stuck with it. I've met great people throughout my martial arts journey. And I'm going to stick with it, yeah.
Success is a funny term in our industry. Just to be an actor, then to be a paid actor, to work in theatre, to work in big films. You're also a father. What is success to you these days?
Success, well, the fatherhood aspect of it, no, I've been a father only for 6.5 years, but what the superpower that fatherhood brought me was everything then got measured against time with my son. And so historically in my career, I just say yes to do everything and do it all. And that was success, even really busy. Now success is measured against time with my son. So I only say yes to the projects that really inspire me or excite me or challenge me. My career's been built on challenges, and I thrive on challenges. I think I do my best work when I'm really challenged. I also now want my son to be able to grow up and watch what I've done. That's why my dad wasn't home for 3 months, or that's why my dad was in Budapest, or that's why he was in Thailand. And if he watches it and it's terrible, he goes, why the heck was my dad? That's what he sacrificed time with me for. So it all gets measured against the other priorities in life, which are, you know, obviously family and fatherhood. But success now is just doing good work with good people. I have an aversion now to inferior work. I don't want to waste my time and energy with things that, you know, historically I would have said yes to previously. Success is working with people that really challenge and inspire me, and success is doing that with a functioning body, with a healthy mind, with a youthful curiosity, and a sometimes delusional positivity.
Beautifully put. And back to success again. The film was amazing. Everyone's performances, the choreography. I couldn't fault anything. So congrats again.
Thank you. I mean, a lot of huge credit to Tyler Atkins, the director. He and Todd Miller, extraordinary editor, edited Land of Bad, did an extremely good job on this. Having Russell there to elevate people, performances out of Amy, it's her first film. George Burgess, who's transitioned out of rugby league career. Mojan Kelly was fantastic. So some real mix of fresh faces, but really also really experienced faces, and you know, for that perfect storm, I think it's also probably the performance that I'm most proud of in my career by a country mile. Yeah.
And where can people watch it?
Well, if they can find it in a cinema, it is a huge cinematic experience. The sound design, the scale, the way the fighting is shot. If you can ever experience it in a cinema, that was Tyler's intention. Get in there, because it is a pounding kind of experience. But now we've got a great home in Australia now on Stan, which I think is just going to get extraordinary amount of visibility on an independent film like this. So I think it's a perfect home. I think the way people consume cinema is changing. It's changing rapidly. Not every film will find its home in theatres, in cinemas, but I know Beast will find a home on streaming, particularly here in Australia, and I know that's been the case in the US as well. So if you do, my only note is make sure the room is dark, it's the biggest screen you can find, and turn it up as loud as you can.
And turn your phone off.
It's only 2 hours of your life. Go and immerse yourself in the story, bro.
And just to finish off, can we get a message to your fans?
A message to my fans is I've been blessed with the most extraordinary adventure of a career that started off almost 30 years ago. I was 17, I left home, I moved to Melbourne. Since then, I've had the absolute joy of living in the UK, the USA, worked all throughout Europe and Southeast Asia. I'm grateful to say that I still feel like I'm somehow at the very beginning of my career, and I'm excited for what's ahead. So I wouldn't have been able to do any of that if it wasn't for this long time support of fans that have started way back from Neighbours and The Bill, but also a whole new legion of fans that have come through Beast. I've been really supportive when I put myself out there in a role that wasn't sort of natural for me, with a great amount of vulnerability, both in character and as an actor. But the response has been extraordinary. So thanks is the main message, and let's go do some more fun, cool stuff is the next part.
I think it's also important that we can tell these big international stories in Australia too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There was a world where Beast was once going to finish up in Las Vegas, and it was there was a version of it, and I'm really glad we didn't, because I felt that partnering with One Championship, taking the story to Thailand, added a sort of a world and a cinemascape that we hadn't seen as readily on screen and in cinema. The sort of neon nightscapes of Bangkok, and you add in the spiritual aspect of the Thai people and Thai culture, as well as the spiritual aspect of Muay Thai specifically, and that really fit with Pat and James and this character that had much more sort of depth and complexity than I think people were going to expect. But it really added a whole new world to this film and the complexity of that.
I can think, and I can win!